It's Sunday night, and you open a notes app called New Week. You write a clean plan. Monday morning hits, one thing goes sideways, and by lunch the whole plan's faded out. By Friday, you're already thinking about the next reset. Not because you don't care, because the habit never had a reliable place to land. Most habit failure isn't a motivation problem. It's a placement problem. You keep trying to drop a new behavior into an already full day and hoping it sticks. A new habit without an anchor is like a sticky note on the fridge that never really stays on. It clings for a moment, then real life opens the door and it falls. So here's what actually changes the pattern. Not more intensity, not a better mindset. A tiny habit that lives right behind something you already do every day. This works best when it's simple enough to do while tired, so keep it small and visible. 3 steps, done in plain language. Step 1 is name the loop. Say it like a label, not a diagnosis. This is the Monday reset loop, or this is the fresh start loop. Step 2 is cut the thread. That thread is the part where you wait. You wait for a clean day, the right mood, or the right time. You cut it by choosing one exact moment that already happens. Step 3 is reset on repeat, not next week, not after you get back on track. At the very next anchor, you do the smallest version again. Now the parts that usually break. There are a few patterns that make habits disappear, even with real motivation. First mechanism is starting without a clear trigger. You tell yourself you'll do it today, then the day fills up. And your habit depends on remembering at the right moment, in the middle of noise. This is why motivation feels unreliable. Motivation is a shaky Wi-Fi signal. When the signal dips, the habit drops. Second mechanism is choosing a habit that's too big. It sounds reasonable on paper, but in real life it feels like a project. Projects get postponed. Small moves get repeated. You can feel the difference in your body. A project creates that heavy pause. A small move creates a quick start. Third mechanism is attaching it to a vague time like later. Later is a crowded place. Later competes with texts, errands, work, dishes, and the part of your brain that wants to stop thinking. If the habit's time is fuzzy, it loses to whatever is loudest. Not because you're weak, because the day has gravity. Fourth mechanism is friction. Friction is sand in the gears. Quiet, small, easy to ignore, and it stops the habit before it starts. The shoes aren't by the door, the notebook is in a drawer. The phone charger is across the room, so the habit asks for extra steps. And extra steps are where habits go to die. Here's a quick person to hold in mind. Jordan has real motivation. Jordan also has a packed day and a brain that gets tired by late afternoon. Jordan starts a new habit on Monday. It's a solid plan. 10 minutes of stretching, a journal page, and reading at night. On Tuesday, work runs long. Jordan gets home and thinks, I'll do it later. Later turns into scrolling. Then it's midnight, and the next morning becomes a reset. Nothing about Jordan is unusual. This is the standard loop when habits depend on spare time. Now the mistakes that make this even more likely. These are the ones that look sensible and still fail. First mistake is picking an anchor you don't do every day. People pick after my workout. Then the workout moves around or disappears. So the habit loses its home. A daily anchor is something like brushing teeth, making coffee, charging your phone, or getting in bed. Boring is good here. Boring means reliable. Second mistake is stacking too many changes at once. 3 to 5 habits sounds efficient. It feels like a fresh identity. Then one miss breaks the feeling of the whole routine. And the whole thing collapses under its own weight. Third mistake is making the habit too long. If it takes 15 or 20 minutes, it becomes optional the moment you're rushed. Then you start negotiating. And the negotiation is the actual habit. Jordan did all 3 mistakes. The anchor wasn't daily, the habits were big, and they were chained together like one fragile package. So Jordan shifts it, not into a bigger plan, into a smaller landing spot. Now the practical ritual, in the simplest version that still works. Step 1. Pick the anchor. Choose one thing you already do every day without fail. Let's say brushing teeth at night. Then choose the exact moment. Not at night, not before bed. The moment is right after the toothbrush goes down, before you leave the bathroom. That precision matters, because it removes memory from the equation. The anchor does the remembering for you. Step 2. Add a pebble. A pebble is a tiny action under 1 minute. It can't go wrong. It doesn't require the right mood. If the habit you want is journaling, the pebble might be write 1 sentence. If the habit you want is stretching, the pebble might be 1 forward fold. If the habit you want is reading, the pebble might be open the book and read 1 paragraph. This is where most people resist, because it feels too small to count. But small is what repeats on bad days. And bad days are most days, in one way or another. Step 3. Lock it in. You reduce friction. You track only did it or not. And after a miss, you restart fast with no extra rules. So for Jordan, the journal goes on the bathroom counter, open to a blank page with a pen already there. The pebble is 1 sentence, standing up right after brushing. No app, no streak obsession, just a simple mark somewhere if it happened. At this point, the habit has a home. It has a size that fits real life, and it has fewer tiny obstacles. Now, 3 cognitive micro tools to keep this running when the mind starts bargaining. First micro tool is the 30-second start. When you notice yourself waiting for motivation, you say, I only need the first 30 seconds. Then you begin the pebble version immediately. The point isn't to finish a perfect session. The point is to cross the start line before your mind builds a case against it. Second micro tool is the anchor echo. When the anchor ends, you let it echo into the new habit once. Toothbrush down, 1 sentence. Coffee poured, 1 deep breath by the counter. Phone plugged in, 1 minute of tidying the same small surface. A habit stack is a train. 1 reliable car pulls a small new car behind it. You're not pushing the whole train with willpower. Third micro tool is the friction sweep. When resistance starts, you don't argue with yourself. You remove 1 obstacle right now. If the book is across the room, you move it to the pillow. If the shoes are buried in a closet, you put them by the door. If the notebook is closed and hidden, you open it and leave it out. You're not trying to become a different person. You're making the next action easier than the alternative. Jordan tries this for a week, not perfectly, just consistently enough to see what changes. Monday goes fine. Tuesday is messy, but the pebble still happens because it's 1 sentence. Wednesday is a miss. Jordan falls into bed and forgets. The old loop would call that failure. Then comes the shame. Then comes the Sunday reset plan. But now there's a different move. Jordan labels it a normal slip. And the next night after brushing, Jordan does 1 sentence with no penalty and no catch-up. That's reset on repeat. No drama, no restart ceremony. Just the next anchor. A few things quietly improve when you do it this way. Your day stops depending on memory at random times. Your habit stops competing with later, and the habit stops requiring a perfect mood. The pebble also does something else. It keeps the identity story small and stable. You're not trying to be a new version of yourself every Monday. You're someone who does 1 tiny thing after 1 daily anchor. If you want to grow it later, growth becomes obvious. After 2 weeks of 1 sentence, you might want 2 sentences, or you might not. The habit still counts either way. And if you're tempted to chain more habits onto it, notice that urge. That's the fresh start loop trying to turn a simple system into a project. Keep 1 train car small until it rolls without effort. If the habit feels pointless in the first weeks, that's also normal. Early on, the win isn't the result. The win is that it happened at the same place in the day. That's the part most people skip. They judge the habit by outcomes before the habit even has a home. So keep the measures simple. Did it happen after the anchor? Yes or no? Did friction get smaller? Yes or no? Did the restart happen immediately after a miss? Yes or no? Jordan ends up with something less exciting than a new life. It's just stable. The toothbrush ends, the sentence happens, and the day closes the same way most nights. That's how habits actually form in busy lives, not through constant motivation, through a reliable landing spot, a tiny action, and quick restarts. A habit that lives in your day doesn't need a weekly reset. It needs a daily place. And it needs to survive your tired version, not your best version. By next Sunday, the Notes app is still there, it just isn't necessary. The habit is already sitting where it belongs. You can usually predict habit failure by where it's supposed to live. If it lives in later, it competes with everything. If it lives behind a daily anchor, it quietly repeats.